All right, we are set up. Hello and welcome everybody on this training tonight. I know there's a lot of people coming on later and gonna listen later to what we have to say here. I'm really, really happy that you guys could all come. Now, as you do know, and as I have, of course, a little bit announced, the subject we're gonna talk about today, obviously is first in sentences is how to get somebody started, because let's face it, most people, when we get started in this business, we really don't know, we have no idea, we don't have any skills, so very often, of course, it has been said to us, well, you know what, with your excitement and everything, you will just get enough people to join you, because when you're super excited, and yes, might this be true, when you're super excited with something, you automatically sort of make this other people like also excited because of your energy, but eventually you got to learn some skills. The reason why we get rejected, the reason why we fail is because we didn't say the right things, because we don't have the right mindset, because we didn't, of course, get our first training. So, we sometimes, and I had this as well happening, we hear the motivational speech, of course, by a leader, and I guess you would have had this as well. I started slow, but, over time, I learned what to say and what to do, and my business grew faster. Well, while this makes sense, well, when we learn to do things better, and then, of course, or faster, of course, then our business succeeds. But why not, of course, learn how to do our business better and faster now instead of over time? Because let's face it, nobody has time, right? So why wait? So this is not the time really when we get started for patience, for endless persistence. We want action and we want growth in our business now. Do you want to make money tomorrow? Do you want to make money today? Today, right? So why not do the things that will cause our business to grow immediately? Why wait? Why learn all that over time? No, let's learn it now. Let's really dig into deep and let's get it done. And, when talking to prospects, and I always have the question, I always ask the question, well, would you like to have a long presentation or would you like to have a short presentation? And everybody, of course, wants to have it short. So short is better than long. When we're talking to our prospects, the easy rule to remember is short is better than long. So let's say you talk to 100 random people. Would you like to hear a long story? Would you like to hear a short story? What do you think? Of course, people would reply. Almost, of course, 100% of those strangers would say, well, give me the short thing. Give it to me shortly. Why? Because people feel pressured for time. You see, they have jobs to do, they have messages to answer, they have television programs to watch, children, hobbies, relationships, and of course much more. And they make instant decisions on where they can invest their limited time. And they want to do it quick, or they want us to be quick. So we have to be fast and we have to be quick when we meet somebody, when we make a friend, when we meet a stranger. They all think the same thing. Will this be interesting? If it will be interesting, then they can afford, of course, to spend this few seconds or few minutes, of course, of their time actually listening to us. So I think you get a point. So, the prospects which we want to talk to, they decide to spend some of their precious times with us. And this time should not be wasted. And it's pretty brutal, but it's the reality. People don't have time nowadays. And of course, as we move on, of course, they have shorter and shorter time because this is exactly why most people are on the struggle, because they have to work 2 or 3 jobs because their money is not lasting. That means they get lesser and lesser time than, of course, families had, just 10, 20 years ago. So this is only going to go worse as we go on with this economy. So, this is why it's so important that you need to learn how to do this business, how to do it fast, how to be not too long, and when you approach people, when you build rapport, and so on. Bottom line, there's a long way, of course, of talking to people that doesn't work, and there's a short way of talking to people that actually does work. So if you want to build our business fast and we really want to put in momentum, well, here's our plan. Talk to people, but keep it short. Prospects do love that. And this is, of course, saving us also time. If you want to build our business fast, well, we can't waste hours with a single prospect. We need to sort prospects out now, right? We need to sort them out now. So, and point number 2 is make sure our limited words, of course, count. Yes, we need skilled sequences of words. And I hope that you actually had a few over this magic word training, which we did, and of course the manual for it. Now, random, of course, verbal diarrhea and chit-chat is really for amateurs. And I tell you what, so many amateurs approaching me on a daily basis. And what do? Flick off, flick off, flick off. I don't want to hear it. So professionals use magic words. They use sound bites, word pictures, and of course, immediate closing techniques. And so we're going to show you, not going to show you, of course, what a difference it actually makes. So let's go and really check out how and why it is so important that we learn some basic skills, as our invite, of course, in this presentation said. Better shorter words. Rather than, of course, talking about theory, let's really look at some live examples here, because this is really, really key and important. So let's say we're talking about our business opportunity. And let's just say we're at work. Now, Shaq, you're on the call. Let's say you're at work and you work often, I know that, but you are working right now full time, but your part-time business is you building your future, I know that, or your fortune. So our business opportunity, let's go for it. Let's say our coworker asks, so what's new with you, Shaq? And an amateur would actually say, look, let's say Shaq was to promote his business he's in. Hey, you know what? I have a ground floor opportunity with the fastest growing company ever, and it's really setting new records as we speak. And in fact, you can make a 6-figure income as we entering just momentum stage. And you know, the company founder, wow, he's great, and he's in Dubai, and he's talking with all those wealthy people, and he's a billionaire, and he's whatnot. So, coworker will say, well, what's the name of the company? And let's say Shaq would say, well, I can't really tell you, because this is how we did used to train people in the past. Can't really tell you. You might look it up on the internet and you prejudge. And the coworker says, well, what do you sell? And amateurs, of course, says, well, I can't tell you now. You have to listen to the whole story at one time. And the co-worker said, well, do I have to be a salesman to do that? And amateur, of course, says, well, maybe. So the co-worker says, well, could you tell me a little bit more about first before I actually invest my time listening or going to this event or this presentation or Zoom call? And amateur will, of course, say, no, I can't do that. It's sort of visual. You have to see it for yourself. And a coworker says, so what can you tell me? And the amateur, of course, is, well, you know, it's negative people like you that never take advantage of opportunity. No wonder that you're stuck. So this is, of course, how we sort of were used to trained, or what I know I had experienced that. So what do professionals say? Professionals do it different, and I'm just going to demonstrate this to you, because this point to you so that you really understand that if you learn a few skills, yes, I know many of you were trained differently. I know that. I want you to wipe that out of your memory. If you learn a few skills, you can literally turn anybody into a prospect. And this is the beautiful thing about it. So what do professionals say? Well, let's say we do the same example here, coworker. So what's new with you? Professional said, well, I decided I didn't want to work this job for the rest of my life. I plan to do something about my life. And coworker says, well, that's interesting. I don't think I want to be stuck here either in this job for the rest of my life. And professional said, well, I don't like taking risks. So I started my own part-time business. I want to make sure it's successful before I quit my job here. Oh, isn't that interesting? Now, that straight away eliminates the fear of rejection because I said basically I want to, of course, eliminate the risk. So I still working here before, of course, the money is flowing in. So straight away, the prospect will be more open. You see, I don't like to take risks. So I started my own part-time business. I wanted to make sure it's successful before I quit my job here. I mean, really great. Co-worker says, obviously, agrees. Good idea. Good idea. We both have families. And is this something, you may think I could do also? That's probably most likely what you will get. The person actually asking if this could be something for him as well. Why? Well, because you made it the way professionally to not have risks. And people hate risks. That's the human mind. We don't like risk. We like safety. That's why we are in our job. We like safety, right? Very few people like risks. Anyhow, so co-worker said, of course, good idea. Profession said, well, yeah, it would be fun actually to build our business together. Then our families, could go on holiday together. Why not check out our business with me this evening? Then you would have at least, one more option for the future. Aha, I said option. It's only an option. So now what's happening in the mind of the prospect? He sees, well, it is just an option. I can reject it. It doesn't matter. It's an option. And of course, then we say, well, sure. Or the coworker basically says, sure. What time? So you see, rejection free. This is one example. Same opportunity, but of course, the professional got a yes and the amateur gets a no. Yet, of course, most people who have been maybe in prior companies and other companies in network marketing have been trained the amateur way, unfortunately. So 2 different ways, of course, to talk to prospects. Say the right words is really, really key, saying right words. So the new distributor says, well, we talk to our warm market of family and friends, and all they said is no to me. Now what? Well, the answer, if our family and friends hated what we said, didn't like what we said, then strangers won't like what we say any better. You see? Now that's a thinking point. If our families don't like what we said, why would strangers like what we said? You see, finding new prospects to actually ruin won't really solve the problem. And now that's, saying it sounds maybe frightening or cold or whatever, but sometimes you got to be honest. And we got to be understanding that we need to learn some, of course, skills. So my experience, obviously, when I started my career in networking, I was on fire. I am still very much on fire, right? And of course, I wanted to build a huge success. And I was tired of being in the rat race. I wanted to have a better life. So what did I do? Well, I did exactly what they told me to do. I talked to people. And over, of course, the next approximately probably, 10 months or a little bit less, I talked to a lot of people, probably 1,000 people or more about the business. At the end of the 10 months, well, I had people joining, yes, but I didn't really had no distributors or no retail customers. And everything else was, of course, okay. I knew the best roads to the meetings, and I had the training memorized. My attitude was great. I had all the Bob Proctor coaching and training. It just, people didn't join. Why didn't they join? Well, the economy was bad in my area. The weather was miserable. There wasn't any upline support where, I started, or when I started, plus the products were too expensive. People were busy. And through, of course, some weird statistic abnormality, I met so many people, probably 1,000 people more, which were unmotivated. And so they didn't want to do nothing in their lives. Really? No, I was just telling you fibs. So what was the problem? Of course not. This was not the problem. The problem was me. That was the problem. I was, of course, at the scene of the crime at every presentation. When I, of course, was in a presentation there, sitting there, I was doing the wrong words. I was using the wrong words. The words I choose did not motivate people to join. I always thought I heard of course, all those people I listened to in the network marketing scene, advices how to do it. I thought, they always said, go to talk to more people. But really thinking back, maybe they told me, go to talk to people correctly, right? So saying the right words is the primary skill in our business. Random, of course, I say oral diarrhea and verbal vomit might keep us, of course, active and busy, but you won't have the results to show for it. So here's how I learned the lesson. And I had to find a solution. After listening to, of course, all my excuses of why people did not join, someone had a conversation with me. Someone smarter than me. He asked me, so tell me, are other people in this kind of business successful in your area? I said, yeah, but you know what? That's not fair. They only work a little bit and, they build a strong team and, I work damn hard and I don't get results. So somebody smarter than me, of course, said, or asked me, do they successful people have the same weather than you do? Do they have a similar compensation plan than you? Are they in a similar kind of business than you? Do they have the same economy? I said, yeah. So someone smarter than me, of course, said, so the only difference between you and the successful people in your business is one thing. They say better words. When they are with the same prospect, they use different words than you. So you got to figure it out. What are you saying? And this is when, of course, I did understand, well, I had to change. I had to change what I said, the words I was saying. So I immediately began listening to what successful people said. They use different words, they use different phrases, they spend more time talking about their prospects' problems. And I had spent, of course, all my time talking about the company features, how great the gold is, how great Bill is, how great Philip Judge is, how Simon Heaps and all those guys. I talked all about that. It's boring. Who cares? I don't care. So prospects love listening to successful people. Why? Because the successful people conversations are all about them, the prospect. You see? What happened when I, of course, changed my words? Magic. Prospect began to smile. When I talked, I stopped talking about, of course, the company's features, the company's benefits, and the prospect didn't feel they were being sold. So when I started listening, of course, to my prospects' problems they actually felt I cared. So we did build a stronger rapport. And of course, what happens after 10 months, or approximately 10 months of pretty much failure, it only took me 60 days to replace my full-time income. 60 days. Could quit my job. That's why my first year I quit my job. Yes, after 60 days, I walked away, of course, into my boss' office. I still have the paper here as a reminder, and I said, I can't fit you into my schedule any longer. Can't fit you into my schedule any longer. How great does this sound? And I tell you, eventually I didn't like to go to my job anymore. This not the gastronomy business, but the morning business in this network marketing company where I worked and was the manager. Why? Well, because I had heard Bill's story, and Bill was making part-time so much more than I wasn't even making in the whole year. So damn it, I wanted to have a different life. And this is how, what I did, of course. So now this is, of course, interesting. I didn't talk to any new people. I didn't go to any new people. I simply returned to the people who told me no originally by describing, of course, the business in different words. This prospect said, yeah, sure, we would like to join you. very different. And this is how I learned the lesson that people don't, of course, turn us down. They don't turn our company down. They don't turn our products down. What is what really happens? They turn down the way how we present our business to them. By changing our words, we get our message understood by more people. So what's the bottom line? Our prospect, of course, react to the words that we say. And so let's say we could say to a prospect, and I did this as well, so I did that. You have a stupid job. I actually said that. So you need to join my business. I literally really said that. I'm still apologizing for that. Or of course, we could say to the same prospects, would it be okay if you had one more option for money every month? Would it be okay? I hope you're writing down. Would it be okay if you had one more option for money every month? Now, is this aggressive? Would you say no to that? No, absolutely. Everybody wants to have another option. It doesn't matter how rich you are. They all want more options because they all want to make more money. So absolutely, you see? So which set of words will get a better reception? Of course, the answer is obvious, right? So if everyone is telling us no when we present to them, then we have to look at ourselves. We are, of course, the common denominator in every presentation. The good news is that we can change what we say and we will get different results. You will see a changing to better words is absolutely 100% in our control. And that is the beauty about that. You see, so let's get our head straight here with that. As we saw, of course, better words make a difference, right? To start fast, short, direct works best. But let's look at one more issue before we actually really continue with the training. What's inside our heads? What's in here? Okay, so many times our internal programming or our internal programs hold us back from action. So we fear, approaching people or feeling like a sleazy salesman. We don't like that. And even, with the best skills in the world, if we are hesitant to talk to people, we can't start fast if we are hesitant. So if we can actually fix this issue inside our heads, then we will know how to fix it, of course, for our new team members. But we need to first fix it in our heads. Of course, we can reprogram our minds after months of years of personal development. I did 7 years. However, to start fast, we don't have that option. We don't have that option. So we can't have negative voices, and they are in our head. We can't have negative voices inside our heads that say, oh, those people won't be interested. They might be offended the way we approach them. We might get rejected. Because why? What's happening? Exactly that. Whatever you put behind I am, I think I'm sick, I think I'm ill, I think I can't, I think I'm too dumb, I think I'm not pretty enough, I think, correct? That's exactly what you will get. So you will get that. But I'm going to do that in another training, which is my big passion as well, to really talking about how our mind works and how we can change that. But let's go and move on here, getting our head straight. So we can't have negative voices. We understand that now because otherwise we're not moving ahead. So to build our business fast, we need to move those negative voices and any programming in our head. Let's, of course, start doing that now. People say, but I won't be a salesman. I don't like to be sold. I don't want to be a salesman. I don't want to be or sounds like a salesman. Most people have this thought, right? This viewpoint does actually prevent us from contacting friends, prevents us from contacting co-workers, prevents us from contacting relatives. Calling for appointments, it's difficult. We fear approaching potential prospects. So why don't we want to be salespeople? See, there's many reasons. We don't want to harass our family and friends to buy things, okay? We don't want our friends to say you're using our friendship just to make money off me. Yes or no? We hate asking favors from people. That feels sleazy, right? Salesmen get rejected. That hurts. We don't like rejection. Nobody likes rejection. Nobody likes it. Yes? So this is why we don't want to be salespeople. That's why 95% of the population doesn't want to be salespeople, don't like it. So how did we get those feelings? Well, maybe we saw, a movie of a aggressive salesman pushing solutions on reluctant prospects. The salesman used whatever closing techniques that would make probably criminals blush or whatever. Well, nobody wants to be like that. Everyone hates rejection. And when prospects tell us no, we feel or we think it is actually personal when it's not. So the viewpoint, of course, or this viewpoint actually will totally paralyze us. If we don't talk to prospects, we won't have a business. So how do we stop, of course, these disempowering thoughts inside our heads? Well, options. I said it before, options. So here's a message which we can tell ourselves to really replace our fear of selling. We say, don't sell. As we do, or all we do is offer prospects one more option for their life. We offer them one more option for their life. Now, isn't it what we really do? Let's face it. This is what we do. We offer them one more option for their life, to change their lifestyle, have a better lifestyle, have more finances, have better cash flow, right? An option. So prospects have the option, of course, to continue with their life just as they are. Absolutely, they have that option. Prospects don't have to listen to our solutions. All we do is offer them one more option. When we look at our business, of course, from this point of view, we don't feel like a salesman. So no selling, no harassing, no pressuring, no asking for favors. Most prospects welcome the opportunity to have one more option in their lives. Yeah. So let's go and look at some examples shortly. So we take our family, let's say, to a local restaurant for dinner. 2 appetizers, extra bread, and a massive entree. I know, Sean, you changed that style. So you're eating healthy. I saw that. You're posting the healthy food. Really great on you. Congratulations. So, but let's go back to our family. We take them for restaurant for dinner, 2 appetizers, extra bread, massive entree. We are full. We are so full, we can't really breathe. And at the end of our meal, of course, the waitress asks, "Do you like to have dessert?" And we smile and we reply, "Oh, no, we are so full, not tonight, thank you." So is our waitress now going to be frustrated? Is she going to be upset? Is she going to go to complain to the manager because we didn't buy a dessert? Does she give up her entire waitressing career because it was impossible to sell us the dessert? Does she wonder if the price is too high even for what we asked? No. She offered us a dessert option, yes, and we didn't take it. There's no drama, no stress. The world is still continue to go on, right? So think about our family and friends. Some may want an extra income in their lives. Some may not. We should not make up their minds for them. We notify them that an option exists, and if they want to know more, they can have a conversation with us. And if they don't want to know more, everything will remain just the same in their lives. So, on some more examples, let's say our brother-in-law, we could say, "Oh man, I know you hate your job as much as I do. Tonight there's a business meeting on how to start our own business part-time. Come with me, at least you will have one more option to consider instead of working at that job you hate for the rest of your life." Now, if it's not going to the meeting, it could be just saying, "Come on a Zoom, come on a presentation," right? So what did you do? You put yourself into the shoes also with him. You partnered with him, besides him. So pretty simple. You just said, "I know you hate your job as much as I do. Tonight there is a business meeting on how to start our own part-time business." That's it. Or we could, of course, say, look, you and I don't want to work at our jobs for the rest of our lives. Look, see, my friend John has an escape plan. Has an escape plan. Now, this is curious. What does he mean by that? Well, let's have a cup of coffee with John, listen to him explain his escape plan, and at least we have one more option to consider instead of suffering at our jobs until we are 70, because they just raised, of course, the time we have to work. Or we could say this, hey, Uncle Joe, I started my own time-pass business, and I started my own part-time business last month. Let me tell you, over lunch next week, it might be an option that could help you retire early. Would your uncle say no? No, I think, yeah, why not? So with those approaches, our invitations, they are not scaring people away. They're not scaring our prospects. We don't scream, buy now, join. We simply add one more option to our prospects. And that is the whole point. So now I believe you feel better about approaching prospects, right? So let's go back to using, of course, professional language to build quickly. So most challenges in our business are, of course, recurring challenges, meaning they will repeat. These challenges are not going to go away. We will face them for the rest of our career. That means no objection is a new objection. They all were already there. So we got to learn how to, of course, handle with them. So we don't want to be amateur distributors who spend all of our life, our time in the business fighting those challenges. Want some examples? I'm sure you all heard, the products are too expensive. Will we hear it again? Yeah, people will say, products are too expensive. They will say, oh, I can get my silver cheaper at bullion dealer. I can get my silver cheaper at there. Doesn't matter which product it is, you will hear that, okay? So that's a fact. Now, if we don't know how to answer this objection, this challenge will haunt us for the rest of our career. You see? We secretly, of course, hope our prospects never bring it up. Or maybe we didn't hear it, but why not fixing it? Why not fixing that challenge now? So I'm sure you also heard, I don't have any money to join. Will we hear it again? Yeah. So one more example. I don't have any prospects. I don't know how or who to call. I don't know what to say to get appointments. And the list goes on and on and on and on. So all prospects will have the same objections until we learn how to present our business properly. Okay? So don't look for prospects who don't have those objections. And this is what I have been taught as well. Look for people who don't have those objections. No, that's not the case. We got to learn how to handle them. All prospects have these objections. Instead, we need to learn how to present our business in a way that handles these objections. And this is as professionals. We want to learn how to handle these challenges now so we never struggle with them in the future, right? So let's go and tackle the common ones. It is too expensive. Well, we want to talk to our best prospects first, of course, but we fear this objection. Oh, your products are so expensive. That's too much money. I can buy a competitor's product for less or for a lot less. And see, if we carry this fear in our head again, what happens? We avoid talking to people. And if we get this objection and handle it badly, this fear increases, of course, even more. So now logically, we could say this to our prospects. Our product is high quality. You see, it comes from Argorias, LBMA standard. I mean, it's from a refinery. You see, they certify other refineries for their standard and products. Look, there's an old saying that you get what you pay for. We have research. Our facility, our refinery is the best. You can't trust where you buy from others. Our product is trademarked. It's copyright, patented, whatsoever. We have so many testimonies on your website. You see, pretty bad, pretty mediocre, right? We have to do better. We got to do better than that. I know I had learned that, but we got to do better than that. That's the wrong way to approach. So let's go step one. Our prospect says it's too expensive. Step one, what do professionals do? Agree with the objection. The first rule of handling objection, we have to agree. If we don't agree with our prospect, we lose. Finished, we lose. So let's say, go in an example, your product is so expensive. We could reply saying, oh, you're such a loser, small money, you're wrong, you don't understand it, you just don't get it. Bad ending, right? Or we can, of course, agree. You see, empathy is understanding things, our prospect points of view, their way of thinking. So our prospect believes, or does believe in this moment, that our price is too high and the product value is too low, or what they get is too low. So if we can answer this objection for our prospect, then we will eliminate the fear in our heads that holds us back, of course, from talking to more people. So let's create, of course, a mini script that actually does solve it. So what should we say? Well, when our prospect tells us that our product is too expensive, we will reply, yeah, it's expensive. Agree. The company wanted to make it cheaper, or wanted to make a cheaper version of it, but they knew it wouldn't work. You see, and they didn't want to rip you off either. This is a very easy answer to memorize, and it only takes a few seconds. Pretty simple. Let's see what the words actually do. Yeah, it's expensive. We agree with our prospect. Our prospect doesn't have to think of any more facts or excuses to support his position. Now the mind is clear, it's free. And when the mind is free, of course, what can he do? He can listen to us. He can open his mind. He can now be attentive. This is good. Now, the company wanted to make a cheaper version. That's the next part, of course, of this little short sentence, right? Yes, it is expensive. The company wanted to make a cheaper version. Every company would love to make a cheaper version. If the final product only costs a few pennies, millions more could afford it. But unfortunately, this is impossible. Products cost money to make. To make this beautiful coin with Argo-Horias cost money to make. That's just what it is, and it's even handmade. So again, our phrase is, yes, it is expensive. The company wanted to make a cheaper version, but they knew it wouldn't work. What will this say? But they knew it wouldn't work in our prospect's mind. Now, our prospect is thinking a cheaper version of this prospect wouldn't work as well. So our prospect now thinks it has more value, which is true. So it needs to be this price to actually work effectively. When our prospect sees, of course, competing products, yes, that are cheaper, yeah, what will our prospect think? Yeah, this is cheaper, but I'm sure they had to compromise and cut out a lot of value to get to this price. It probably won't work for me. This is what our prospect is thinking. And they didn't want to rip you off. That's our last phrase on this short sentence. So we don't need to add this if we don't want to, but it's just, great to say. So why? Because it makes us feel good about our company. And they didn't want to rip you off. Okay? So if you buy this, it probably won't work as well. And I will be not ripped off. That is what the prospect is thinking. So what's the bottom line? These few sentences justify the price of our product. And this script replaces the negative fear in our heads that our prospect or our product is too expensive. Problem solved. Very simple. Yes, it is expensive. The company wanted to make a cheaper version, but they knew it wouldn't work and they didn't want to rip you off. Very, very simple. You see? Now, but I don't have any money to join. Will this objection ever come up? Sure. over and over. So what does it mean when our prospect say they don't have money to join? It could mean that our prospect do have the money to join, but they just don't see the value in, because the way we have presented our business. Yeah. And hopefully we can, of course, learn to fix this problem already by learning, of course, how to talk the right way. This objection could also mean that the money is very tight at the moment and they need the current cash flow for more important expenses for the family. So remember, our first rule of handling objection, we have to agree, right? Our first rule, we have to agree. Unless we agree, our prospect minds will be closed no matter what we say. No matter if we bring the founder on the call, no matter, it does not matter. So we have to start with an agreement. So we will begin with, of course, you don't have the money. Now, our prospects, of course, feels that we did actually hear them, and of course that we agree with them, and there's no need for them to defend their position. But there's, of course, one thing to caution there, and it is you got to say it sincerely, because I know I have seen people, they say it with kind of sarcasm. You can't do that, okay? So we have to do it and say it sincerely. Because we don't really know what's going on in their family's life, right? So now that we have opened their minds, what should we say? To get the prospects actually to consider new possibilities, we have to make these new possibilities feel familiar to them, yeah? And we do this by telling our prospects a fact that they already believe it's true. So our prospects will think, that is true. You and I actually are on the same page. We think the same. And so now they're way more open. So what will we say? So let's add, of course, our final phrase so to open their minds even further. Of course, you don't have any money. This is why I'm talking to you now. And you don't want to be that way for the rest of your life without enough money. So let's sit down now and figure out a way to get you started. How's this? Of course, you don't have any money. That is why I'm talking to you now. You don't want to be the rest of your life that way without enough money. So let's sit down, yeah, and figure out a way to get you started. And our prospects, of course, can now easily say, yeah, because they hear our message loud and clearly. We agreed with them. So our prospects, of course, started from a point of view saying, we don't have any money. We can't do this business. We won't join. And after saying these words, our prospects now have a new point of view. We don't want to be broke for the rest of our lives. Let's figure a way out to get us started. Right? So there's many ways to get prospects started who have, of course, temporary cash flow problems. They could pre-sell some products. They could start lining up prospects. I did that. So they could have a garage sale. I remember I got people sell their Xbox and all this stuff. I mean, I got them to sell that because let's face it, it doesn't serve them. And if they would sell it, they would have enough money to start the business. They can have, again, a garage sale. I mean, there's so many things what they can do. And we had people getting started, a few people putting together the money because they didn't. So there's so many possibilities. If our prospects have the desire to get started now, we can figure out a way how to help them. The challenge is to get our prospects to change their point of view quickly. But what if the prospect says, well, I don't have any time? If our prospects, of course, complain that they don't have any time, we use simply the same template. I love that, isn't it great? You use the same template. We could say, of course you don't have time. And that is why I'm talking to you now. You don't want to be that way the rest of your life, not having any time for your family and for yourself. So let's sit down now and figure out a way how to get you started so that you have more time in your life. Same script. That wasn't so hard, was it? You see, we can answer a lot of objections with the same template. So here's another one. Our prospects say, but I don't know anyone. We don't know anyone to talk to. We could answer, of course you don't know anyone. And that is why I'm talking to you now. You don't want to be that way the rest of your life with no friends and no contacts. So let's sit down now and get you enrolled in a company training where you will learn how to meet new people and build your business. Aha, very different. So in our business, see, there are only a few common objections that we will hear over and over, and we have to learn how to handle them fast. I don't have anyone to talk to. Okay, well, or you're born orphaned, or you're raised, I don't know, in somewhere with nobody, or I don't know, and move to a new city where you don't know anyone, or, you know, we are shy. Or how do we find new people to talk to? Well, finding people to talk to is super easy. People are everywhere. I mean, everywhere, literally. The challenge is figuring out, of course, the way how to talk to people that is actually effective and that is rejection free. Because why? Well, because we don't like objections, right? We don't like to be rejected. Let's say we're going to start building new people, approaching strangers. And I have a whole training on that. So this is just really giving you the little bits of it. So approaching strangers. Let's say you choose to talk to a stranger. Yeah. How about a sales clerk at a small store? Yeah. How about that? Well, we know this person is paid to be polite to us. Yes. So let's approach the clerk and actually say, "Excuse me, I'm new to the city. I'm just moved here. Could you do me a favor?" And of course, the clerk is automatically nice, of course, because that's how they trained. "Sure, how can I help?" And maybe the clerk is secretly thinking, well, maybe I can help you. Depends on what kind of favor you're asking or you're to do. If you want money from me, no, I don't. But if it's an easy favor, I would be happy to help. Why not? So what kind of favor are we going to ask? We will ask for a favor that's easy and won't pressure the person we're talking to. We will ask for referral. So what's happened when we directly ask someone, "Would you be interested in my business?" Probably the person saying, "No, don't care, I'm not interested," because this forces the person into a yes or no decision. And if the decision is no, we feel rejected. See, the person we are talking to doesn't feel good either, right? But when we ask for a referral, this gives the person we are talking to some options. The person could know someone, not know someone, not now know someone, but will think about it, or be personally interested in what we say. You see, there's no time pressure. The person we talk to, that clerk, may or may not be able to help us right now, and that's okay. So why not ask for the perfect referral? See, most people know 200 people that we don't know. We don't want to talk to all 200 of his or her friends. We only want to talk to the most qualified prospects who want to take action now. Yeah, this will save us a lot of time. We need to start fast, remember? So there's a formula that helps us find people who will take action immediately. And that is, look, to the clerk, for example, I'm looking for people who have whatever problem and who want to fix that. I'm looking for people who just got made redundant in their job and want to have fix that. I'm looking for people who have struggling to pay their mortgages. I'm looking for people who need to have an extra income. I'm looking for people, I can just go on and I have like thousands of approaches. I'm looking for people who want to have a better life. I'm looking for people who want to make an extra holiday instead of just their one holiday a year. I'm looking for people who are tired with their job. I'm looking for people who want to make more money. So there's just an endless phrases which you could say. And see, prospects worry about their problems. So it is easier to motivate prospects to fix problems than to motivate them to reach for our wonderful benefits. So we want to locate people with a problem that our product or our opportunity can solve. And the last part of the formula, wanting to fix it, of course, narrows our search to prospects who want to take action immediately. See, many people have problems, but they don't want to fix them. These are not our best prospects when we're trying to build our business fast. Let me give you some examples. So let's say a coworker says, I need more money, but I don't have any time. After I watched my favorite show last night, I'm too tired to think about anyone else. Or anything else, not anyone, anything else. So is this a good prospect? No, because he has no time. He needs more money, but then he watches TV shows, his favorite shows. I'm sorry. That person's not serious, right? Or let's say a 65-year-old who hasn't started saving for retirement yet and doesn't see the need to start now. Probably not the right prospect. So there's an old saying, of course, we can run with 1,000 motivated people, but we only can drag one. We only can drag one. People who don't want to fix their problems will slow us down. They will slow us down. We will respect their decision to stay where they are now, and we just move on to another prospect. So let's put, of course, the formula we just learned at work. I'm looking for people who are bored with their jobs and are looking for something else. That was easy. Sales clerk doesn't feel pressured. And of course, and our sales clerk may think, well, knows someone, doesn't know someone, can't think of right now, but will keep us in mind, or is personally interested. Those are the 4 outcomes, right? And they're all rejection free. And even if our sales clerk doesn't know anyone, our sales clerk is almost, apologizing to us, right? Now, if someone is recommended to us, what do we know about that person? The person is bored at his current job. The person is looking for options now. We already know that because we learned about it from our sales clerk, who is referring this person to us. So we are talking now to, the best prospects. See, let's look at some more formulas, right? Because this is really fun. You could say I'm looking for people who hate commuting to work and would rather work out of their homes. I'm looking for people who hate their bosses and would love to be their own boss. I'm looking for people who are just so stressed out with time, would like to have more time with their family. I'm looking for people, who will retire soon and would love to double their retirement pension. I'm looking for people who have 2 jobs but would prefer to rather just work 1 job. I'm looking for, people who want to save money but just don't know how to do it. So there's so many ways what we can, of course, say. So this is a really easy pattern we have here. I'm looking for people with a lot of credit card debt who want to pay it off quickly. I'm looking for single moms who want to change their lives. I'm looking for college graduates with student loans who want to pay off their loans in 3 years. I'm looking for people who are addicted to traveling, like me, and would like to get paid for it. That's why I started this business, right? I wanted to get paid, not only to save in gold or silver and store, but also get paid for traveling. I'm looking for people who hate their job and would like to help or to have a career helping people. I'm looking for people who love social media and want to get paid for their addiction. I'm looking for people who are underpaid and want to be paid for what they are worth. I'm looking for busy moms who want their career, flexible hours. There's just so many opportunities, really. So why does it seem so easy? Because people are pre-sold. Most people want what we have to offer. We seldom hear people say, I wish I had less money in the bank. We seldom hear people say, nope, forget about better holidays for us. My family loves staying with my sister-in-law's apartment for, with her, 32 cats. No, You don't hear prospects saying that. We have what our prospects want, and of course, we have the solution to their problems. That is the beauty about it. So can we use this formula for posting on social media? Of course. But we will learn in the next call, not now, why this is not so effective. We're going to learn about the 5 levels of communication, and we were going to learn, of course, what is the best and easiest way to get, of course, our already warm prospects, our people we know, because at the end of the day, we always have to first, when we start, get to the person in our list which we already know, because it's just simpler. We'll learn that in the next session. Unfortunately, we are on the hour, so this session is over. But can you now understand that finding people to talk is actually easy? But we got to learn some basic skills, and we got to get started fast, rejection free. And so I hope you enjoyed this training. I hope there were some valuable points in that. Now you will be able to, all what I said, have a compromised, or not compromised, what is it? A shortened version with all those phrases which I said, downloadable for you, of course, as always, so that you have them right there. From there we go. Next training, which we will do, of course, on our Thursday evening at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 10 o'clock UK. And we will, of course, have it recorded, and it will be, yes, on YouTube, and it will be on Facebook Live, so that you really cannot miss this training. You can re-listen to it over and over and over, because I believe it will be valuable for me. It changed my life. It made me, of course, a 7-figure income in this industry. Had I not learned these skills, I wouldn't be here today. So I would be probably here still, because I'm so much in love with the company, but I wouldn't be here and having this success. So with that, thank you guys. I'm gonna now stop the recording here.